Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm Chris and this is Erin.
If you guys have been following along our channel for a little bit, you know we are full-time RVers traveling around the country in an Airstream Interstate Sprinter van. For the past 6 months or so, we've kind of had an itch to change up our style just a little bit. We love our van, but we've been thinking about a second mode of transportation. And why are we wearing matching bicycle helmets right now? Because we reached out to Rad Power Bikes and they sent us out a couple of e-bikes to review, and we are excited. This is going to change the way we RV and our entire lifestyles. So let's get out and get on a ride.
Let's do it.
So we're at an RV park in Ocean Shores, Washington, right on the ocean. There's this cool little path right to the beach here. It's about a 10-minute walk or a lot less on an e-bike ride. So our biggest problem, I guess if you call it a problem, is when we want to go somewhere, we have to pack up everything in the van and take it all with us, which is great in some situations. Like the whole rainforest, for example, we just went to 2.5 hours from here. It's great. We had everything with us. We could be up there all day long and even spend the night up there if we wanted to. But where we really lack is the 5 to 10 mile range right around our RV park or boondocking site that we're camping at.
Yeah, I'm super excited to use these to get onto street level and really saturate the areas that we're already in, and to just see them at a different level, get in deeper and explore the little towns and areas with little day trips.
So what's cool about these bikes is that they have pedal assist levels 1 through 5, and then they also have a throttle on it. So if you don't want to pedal, you can just use the throttle. And these things go 20 miles per hour.
What I really love about it is, besides the fact of it like getting us out and seeing stuff, is you can customize it as you're riding it to be, you know, either 0 assist or level 5 assist. So even if you want to do some workout and get some movement in, you can still use it as a real bike. So they typically can get you 25 to 40 plus miles. Just thinking about ways to maximize that. We think we'll probably get some assisted powering into the city or wherever it is that we're going to go. And then once we're in that area, then shut that power down, do some actual bicycling, and save some juice to get back home. Of course, that's just like newbie speculation right now. That's what we think we're going to be using it as. I'm sure it will be a variety of ways, but we're really excited to play around and see which ways suit our touring style the best.
So I got the RadRover model, and this is the RadRover 5. So they've had 5 renditions of this. And basically our 2 bikes are almost identical, except for Chris has the Step-Thru and I have the traditional style bar there. So these things have 4-inch fat tires on them. Tires by Kenda, and they even have like a puncture resistant sleeve in them. So I'm thankful that that's there, just so we don't blow a tire 15 miles from town. But another cool thing they got is an integrated headlight and tail light. So you can turn the headlight on and the tail light, actually, with just those 2 buttons. And so that all goes through the battery, which is a 14 amp hour battery. And like Chris said, you can get that range from around 20, 25 miles, all the way up to 40 plus miles, depending on how much pedal assist you use. These things have a 750 watt geared hub motor, and it's pretty powerful. I can't believe it. I'm super excited. Like I said, we went on a 21-mile ride on Saturday, and it was absolutely insane. The smiles that were on our face, you can't replicate it. It's almost like when you got your very first bike as a kid, and you just have that same type of feeling. Read a few reviews by elderly people in their 70s saying that this is the first bike they've had in like 40 years, and they're just ecstatic that they have it. So we also got stopped by someone on Saturday, and she lives in Ocean Shores here, about a mile from town, and she was really interested in these bikes. She doesn't want to start her car to go get a gallon of milk. She was really interested in getting an e-bike for that. So there's a million different uses you can use for these things, and we're extremely excited to be reviewing these. You can ride it just like a fat tire bicycle. It has 7 gears on it, and you can ride it just like a regular kind of mountain bike style. And the throttle is always there, so if you just need a little boost, the throttle just gets you going as long as the battery's on.
And these come standard with fenders now.
Yeah, the 2020 models have fenders on them.
Which is helpful for us since we don't do laundry, or we don't have access to laundry all the time.
Can you imagine a 20-mile bike ride on the ocean like this? What kind of streak you'd have up your backside?
Yes, and then also one of the accessories that we're going to get is the rear rack that will go on the rear fender there.
Yeah, the rack with the pannier bags on the side where you can put bags of groceries on both sides. And honestly, that's going to be our little, this is going to be like our second mode of transportation to get into town.
Yeah.
We're so excited to continue to be using these. Welcome to beautiful California. Those Washington beaches were phenomenal to ride on, but as you could tell by our hoodies, that weather was getting a little too cold for us. So we made a 1,000-mile drive in 2 days south into Sonoma County, and the e-bikes were on the back of the van, and we put them on the Hollywood hitch, and it was a perfect cruise down here.
Yes. I didn't even know they were back there.
No, they fit very well in the van. The rack worked out great. We'll talk about that more in upcoming videos, but to continue here in California, as soon as we got close to our campsite, we started driving through some phenomenal vineyards. So we knew we wanted to explore this local area quite a bit more.
We took our bikes through the RV park, which on its own was really fun because there's a lot of hills in this park.
Yes.
We've been walking this park. Our calves are actually sore from the inclines that we're not used to as of recently. So these bikes were fun to just like zip right up those hills, up and down, and pulling that torque just to pull you up the hills.
I had to pick up a package that's like a half mile to the front ranger station, and so that was kind of fun to go pick up the package on the e-bike. And you can just use the throttle to get you up on the hills.
That's the word that I meant, not torque.
With easy. Well, torque's a good description for it.
It just torqued me right along. So anyway, we took the bikes out of the park into town. I think it's like 3 miles into the town.
I think so.
But we left during, it was like 5 o'clock, almost golden hour, and we were just cruising past acres and acres of vines, and the view was beautiful. And it was one of those moments, I seriously had a moment where I thought to myself, this is the moments that I'm going to remember. Like these bikes going through the middle of wine country in golden hour with my sweetheart, going into town. We ended up going into town, and it happened to be Halloween the night that we went. So people were dressed up. We were seeing costumes and cars, which it's just like we never would have seen that if we didn't have the bikes. We never would have left the park if we didn't have the bikes.
It's a perfect example of how we're trying to change how we RV, and it absolutely is living up to what we hoped it would be.
Our intentions are unfolding right in front of our eyes.
Absolutely. These are fairly large bikes. They're around 70 pounds a piece, and they are full-size, full-frame bikes. But that's what we wanted because of that, 4-inch fat tire. It's so comfortable just on any type of surface, from pavement to sand to gravel to like off-road, on-road. It's such
the
a
way it handled on the
feeling.
beach was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen through the sand. Some of it was kind of thick, some of it was nice and packed, but
it carried through. It just like cut you right through. When we rode it into the streets, to see like the battery difference between the sand and the wind and the streets, that was really good information and data. We're starting to try to like collect data in our mind, like what trips will take what amount of battery energy.
That's a good point, because the 22 miles that we did on the big beach day
drained us down.
That almost drained us down to 1 bar. And when we went out just this last Saturday, we got back. I think it was 11-mile round trip.
Yeah.
It was 1 bar off the battery.
Yeah, and it was. And I remember being in town after already getting there, looking down and seeing full strength. I'm like, God, this is like the best feeling. My heart is pumping. I'm like, we could go all night.
That felt good.
It felt really good.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see the difference on what sandy, windy will get you, and then what pavement, no wind will get you.
Yeah, and so the beach ride was pretty much level 5 pedal assist, which is your strongest pedal assist. A lot of throttle. We were really excited. We were cruising. The wind was in our hair. And this last one, we kind of stayed in the middle. We did pedal assist 3, and we just had a nice 15 mile per hour comfortable, fun cruise through the vineyards.
Yeah, and another thing, I'm kind of just like rambling points that are highlighting to me. Like I was mentioning to Aaron how both times that we took these bikes out, it was later in the day when I start to feel my energy kind of slumping. And Aaron's like, let's take those bikes out. And of course my inside's like, yes, I want to, but my lazy brain and my lazy body's like, oh, I'm so comfortable. But the point is, we get on these bikes and I get energized, and it gets you past that slump, and I'm feeling this second wind in the day because I'm just getting up and getting out.
I think it's just so different to what our style is, because we're in a van. This is our entire home and RV. If we want to get out, like we would just go for a walk. That's really all we could do before, besides packing everything up and driving into town, the 2-3 miles, which we just wouldn't.
Yeah.
We normally just wouldn't do.
We wouldn't do that.
So being able to just to hop on the bikes and just go, it's completely changed the way we're RVing, and we love it. So the weight capacity on these bikes is 275 pounds. And once again, Chris has the RadRover Step-Thru model, which stepping through is obviously pretty easy. What's your height?
I am 5'7".
And how do you feel on the big full-size bike?
It feels good. I'm glad that there's not a bar, because the bar would be 10 inches up from here, right?
Yeah, roughly.
I should actually step on yours too. But this feels really good. And it's super manageable. This we mounted here. So if you get the bike, it won't come with the lock there. So you'd have a little bit more knee space to get in and out. But it's actually a really good fit, and I like the way the lock looks there. It looks really clean. In the past, I've had coil locks that are messy and awkward and fumbly. So I really like the lock. I really like that you can step in, but this feels really good for me, being 5'7".
One of the common bikes that Rad Power Bikes sells is called the Rad Mini and the Rad Mini Step-Thru. And those are foldable bikes, which are extremely popular with RVers because obviously they fold and they can fit in the bays of fifth wheels and Class A's. People put them in their trunks and in the back of trucks.
That'd be so cool to just fold it up and put it in there.
For our style, we did want the full-size bike for sure, but folding doesn't help in our van because they're going on the back as a full style. So we'll link Rad Power Bikes website down below so you can check out all their current models and pricing. And why don't we have you step on the RadRover 5 too, just so you can get reference.
Okay, I actually haven't ridden yours yet.
Yeah, and the seat's not set up for you. It's too tall. It's for me, who I'm 6'2".
So, I would totally ride this if I met up with a friend and my girlfriend. I'd let my girlfriend ride the Step-Thru and I'd ride Aaron's. totally manageable for that. But I really like the Step-Thru. It just makes me look a little bit more graceful, makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But it's the same bike, right?
Yeah.
Other than that.
Yep.
So performance-wise, it's exactly the same.
So for reference, I'm 6'2" on the full RadRover. Swinging my leg over is very comfortable for me, and that's just what I'm used to. That's how all the bikes have been that I've always had. So I'm extremely comfortable on this. I've also ridden Chris's Step-Thru many times, and it has a little bit different feeling to it, almost more of like a laid-back beach cruiser style, but it's perfectly comfortable too. I just prefer the RadRover 5 style myself, but this feels a little bit more of an aggressive stance, like a mountain bike stance, where the Step-Thru is a little bit more comfortable, which is a really interesting feel on a 4-inch fat tire Step-Thru with all that power on the throttle. So the battery on these is a 14 amp hour, 48 volt lithium ion battery, and they take roughly 5 to 6 hours to fully charge. It does have a key, and it basically goes into 3 different positions. So the first position is off and unlocked, so you can remove the battery. And then there is an off and locked, so that you could walk away from your bike, nobody can power it on, and the battery cannot be taken off. And then the last position is just the on position. And so that's on and locked, allows you to ride the bike. So up on the handlebars here, it does have mechanical disc brakes, which work great. And then this is the control here for the pedal assist, and also for the LCD, which is a backlit LCD screen. Kind of just shows you your fuel gauge, which is your battery level, also what pedal assist mode you're on, your odometer, triptometer, and also your wattage meter on there. On the other side here is the Shimano 7-speed cassette, which works great so far. And here's kind of the throttle assist, which works pretty good. So we're finding out that while you're on the hills around here, and California is pretty hilly, especially where we're at, instead of shifting down and up and changing your pedal assist, you can easily just use your throttle to kind of assist you up the hill, and it just makes it for a smooth, easy, fun ride. Another thing to note on the front here, on the forks you see, is actual suspension, which makes it a nice, soft, easy ride. And you can lock this out and kind of change the assist on it. So if you don't like how it gives you kind of a softer ride, you can lock it so it gives you a firm ride. So I think that about covers it for this video on the e-bikes. We are full-time RVers. We do use these every single week. So if you have questions about them, feel free to leave a comment down below, and we will get back to you to let you know if you do have anything specific you want to know. Otherwise, we'll link Rad Power Bikes website down below. That is an affiliate link. And thanks once again to Rad Power Bikes for sending these bikes out to us to review. And stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and I think San Francisco is coming up.
Now that's gonna be some good hills.
Yeah.
We're gonna cruise these by full house.
Full house.